Hey guys, Cody Works here. Um, I just got back from church, and today's Sunday school message by Barry Northcutt was on some of the doctrines of God. He discussed briefly the ontological, teleological, and cosmological um, viewpoints of God. And then he went on to ask a question. He said, do you have a low or high viewpoint of God, or a big or little viewpoint of God? And that struck me, and it's stuck with me. And so, my thoughts on it in regard to my introspection was I have both. And let me explain what both views are. Big viewpoint of God is that He is omniscient, omnipresent, all powerful, all knowing, all present, omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent. Low viewpoint is that He doesn't interfere or can't fully interfere, is that we have some control over God's will, essentially, that our will and His will are equal or ours is higher. And he gave an example of a man that would call, he said, he referred to him, he said, he has a low viewpoint of God, or a little viewpoint of God, and he says that he would call his congressman before he would pray about it. And that kind of struck me, and it made me think, as a man, where's my viewpoint line up at? And it come to me that I'm a little bit of both. And let me explain why. Because if you were to ask me, I would tell you I have a high viewpoint of God. I know that He is omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent, and all of those big omni words. I know these things. But as I look at my life, I don't live those things. I have a head knowledge of a high viewpoint of God, but the heart knowledge isn't there. And let me explain to you what I mean by that. My first instinct is not to go to God with my issues or my everything, honestly. I am, and this is typical of most men, I would say, I want to do it myself. I want to be the fixer. I want to tighten my belt and push through it, and solve the problem myself. And I think that's typical of most men. But the issue that I have is that I know that's not the way I'm supposed to be. With a high viewpoint of God, I should go to Him and know that even though if I do get up and go, oh, well, this needs done, I need to pray about it, and then I need to do it. Because it's God that gives me the ability to do it. I can't do that on my own. But my actions and my head knowledge don't match up. And I've been struggling with this for years. I'm struggling with a hard disconnect between the heart knowledge and the head knowledge of God and where He sits. But that one stuck with me today. Do you have a big or little viewpoint of God? And intellectually, I have a high viewpoint of God. But my actions dictate otherwise. They show that I have a little viewpoint of God. Faith is not is definitely not high on my spiritual gifts. I do not come by faith naturally. I like to try to think through things and work through them. And that's where I struggle with I have this head knowledge, and I know all these things. I've read all these things. I've seen a lot of these things that would point to him being a big God. It's not that I don't know. It's that my actions don't line up with what I know. And the verses that come to mind are when Paul talks about how the things that I want to do, I don't do, and the things that I don't want to do, I do, in referencing our battle with the spirit and the flesh. So I would like to know y'all's thoughts and y'all's positions on this, and I'd like to carry this discussion further in the comments below if you don't mind. I'd like to hear y'all's opinions. This has struck on my heart, and it is something that is close to my heart. I love discussing these things, but this one right here, it struck a chord. And I see other men who are a lot like me in the way they are, but I would say that they probably have a higher viewpoint of God in their actions than I do. And I'm trying to work through that. I don't know exactly how. I don't know. I know devouring scripture will help that come and all that. But I'll ask that y'all will continue to pray for me on this, and I would like to continue these discussions more often. And hopefully we can learn together and grow together. Thanks, guys.